Hi, this is Chef John, and today we are doing shepherd's pie moussaka. So I'm taking two very old world recipes. One's Greek and one I think is English, but it might be Irish. Man, am I going to get a lot of emails now. Moussaka is a Greek dish of lamb and eggplant, usually topped with a cheese type sauce, like a cream sauce. Shepherd's pie, of course, the ground meat with the potato topping. So I'm going to combine both. So I got some lamb, that's a couple pounds of lamb, some eggplant, some tomato. You're going to have to check the website today for sure because that spice mix has some cinnamon, some cumin, salt, pepper, but all the amounts will be on the site. Got some diced onion, half a cup of Parmesan. All right, gotta have garlic. That's a must. That's about 4 cloves. And then the topping, we're going to go with a potato topping, which again, where the shepherd pie part of this is coming in. So here we go with step one. Let's make the meat base for this. We're going to saute some onions in some olive oil. All right, and we're just going to get those started. We're basically going to cook the onions and the meat together. So I put the onions in first, give them a little swirl in the oil. This is on medium heat. All right, go ahead and add your 2 pounds of lamb. And we're just going to kind of simmer that on medium. And as we do, we want to break that up. Now, I don't want any large chunks of meat. I want this to be a very smooth, almost like a paste, okay? So the way to do that is at the initial stages here, is you're sauteing that with the onions. Just kind of take your wooden spoon and just break up the pieces. And let's go ahead and add our spice and herb mix. Again, check the website. There's about 7 or 8 different things in that. I'm going to throw my garlic in at the same time. And again, on medium heat, we're just going to keep cooking this until it's pretty much all broken up. Now I want to get over there and prep and dice my eggplant, but I don't want to walk away from this too soon because otherwise I'll have, like I said, large chunks of lamb. See, I want it to be all broken up like that. So once you get to that stage, all right, just leave it on medium, low, and go ahead and prep your eggplant. Now, I'm going to use 2 eggplant, and I'm going to use the restaurant version of how to peel an eggplant. You know, the chefs, we don't grab the peeler, we grab the knife because this is much faster if you have to do like, 3 or 4 cases of eggplant. If you want to grab your peeler, it probably will waste less. But either way, go ahead and slice your eggplant. And the size is not a huge factor here, okay? Because this is basically going to melt right into that lamb mixture. But I do want a consistent dice. So I'm going to go maybe, I don't know, 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch squares. So cut it in slices, cut it in like 1/2 inch sticks, turn it, you know how we do it, and then cut it that way into kind of a large dice. All right, so I do want to be able to see a little bit of eggplant at the end, but and the smaller you cut it, the faster it's going to cook. So that's basically the only option you got. If you want to dice it real fine, it'll cook faster. All right, let's finish putting this together. So our meat has been simmering there on medium. Like I say, it's kind of almost looks like a chili. All the meat is broken up. There's no big chunks. I'm going to add 1/3 of a cup of tomato paste. And there's my 2 eggplant that I peeled and diced. Now, if you want to leave the peel on, go ahead. I don't suggest it. I think just for the mouthfeel of the dish, that wouldn't be as appetizing to me. But you're certainly welcome. And we're going to simmer that. And it's going to take about 40-45 minutes until that eggplant is just all cooked down and it just almost disappears, okay? So on medium heat, there's your visual, 40 minutes or until the eggplant is completely soft and cooked. There's nothing worse than undercooked eggplant. It's very bitter, and we don't want that. Now, you don't have to stand there stirring that for 40 minutes. Just keep it on medium. As long as it's not burning or sticking to the bottom, you're going to be fine. All right? And that's it. Now, when that's done, okay, I'm going to show you a little trick here. We're going to prep our potatoes for the top. So I want you to take your wooden spoon, and I got the pan tilted up on a little bit of a trivet. I'm going to put all the meat on one side, and what's going to happen is the grease, the oil from the lamb is going to seep out through the bottom, and we're going to wipe that out. Okay? So while that happens, let's prep our potatoes, and no big thing here. I took my 3 potatoes, I peeled them. All right, I'm going to bring those to a boil, and just like I'm making mashed potato, I'm going to simmer those until they're tender. And look what happened. That was like 10 minutes later. I'm going to take a paper towel, and I'm going to just wipe that out. Now I could have put that on in a colander and drained it, but I might have lost some of the good lamb juices. So this method tends to just cause the oil to come out. And I'm no dietitian, but I'm thinking that's like about, I don't know, 10,000 calories I just soaked up there. So we just made this a nice healthy dish. There's another couple emails I'm going to get. All right, I'm going to put that into your, I think this is like a 9 by 13 baking dish, Le Creuset, as I drop names. All right, my potatoes are tender, just like we're making mash. By the way, watch my mashed potato demo on the site if you've not mastered the mashed potato technique. So into those 3 potatoes, I put my half stick of butter. I'm going to give that a mash. All right, I'm going to put a half a cup of milk. Don't write this down, it's on the site. Just a little pinch of salt. Now be careful with the salt because we're going to add almost a half a cup of cheese to this, which I'm going to do right now. So there's a half a cup of grated Parmesan. I'm going to save some for the top, see? Save a few tablespoons for the top. Stir that in. Now Parmesan, a little bit salty. So that's why you got to be careful adding the salt at the beginning there. Now because we put the milk and the butter and the cheese, this potato mixture is now cool enough to add my 1 whole egg. I'm going to take a whisk and just whip it in there. And there our topping is pretty much done. The rest is just assembly. All right, so that meat is kind of cooled off now a little bit while we were doing the potato. What you don't want is pieces of that meat getting up into your topping. Do you ever frost the cake and all the crumbs get into the frosting and then it looks horrible and then you go buy a cake and say you made it? Same thing here. I want to take the tines of a fork. I love that word, the tines. That's like the tip, I think. Take the tip of your fork and just work the potato around a nice even layer, being careful not to get any of the meat on the top. We want a nice, clean top. And what I did with the fork, I actually made little ridges with the tip of the fork, and I topped it with the rest of our cheese. Now what's going to happen here is going to go in that 400-degree oven. All right, we're going to bake it for 20 minutes. And the top gets kind of crisp. So that's why I keep tapping the fork on it. I couldn't stop tapping. All right, the top has like a firm, crisp texture, and just underneath the surface is that delicious, delicious mashed potato and lamb mixture. All right, there's some chocolate mint. You can use regular mint. All right, I got a chocolate mint plant in my backyard, which actually tastes like mint, but has a little bit of a chocolate aroma. Really interesting. And a little extra tip here. I'm going to put the meat on top of the mint, not the mint on top of the shepherd's pie, because I want that warm, that hot meat mixture to be infused with that nice mint flavor on the bottom, and that wouldn't work as well on top, okay? So that is a delicious dish. There's lots of extra info on the site, so check it out. Make sure you let that cool a little bit before you serve it, and as always, enjoy.